What if the entire world of One Piece is one wrong decision away from being wiped off the map? Not by the Marines, not by the Yonko, but by weapons so powerful that the world government buried the knowledge of their existence and rewrote history to make sure nobody could ever find them. These are the three ancient weapons, and when you understand what they really are, what they can do, and how they connect to Luffy's journey, the endgame of One Piece starts to look completely different. Welcome to One Piece Uncovered. Let's get into it. Before we break down each weapon, you need to understand why they matter so much. The Void Century is a blank in history. 100 years of events that the world government has classified, destroyed, and made it illegal to even research. The scholars of Ohara were wiped out just for trying to learn the truth. And at the center of that erased history are three weapons with names pulled straight from ancient mythology: Pluton, Poseidon, and Uranus. Each one carries enough destructive power to reshape the world. And right now, in the current timeline of the story, all three are either active, hidden, or about to come into play. That is not a coincidence. Oda planned this from the very beginning. Pluton is the first ancient weapon introduced in the story, and it comes up during the Alabasta arc in a way that most casual fans probably glossed over. Pluton is a warship, but calling it just a warship is like calling the Thousand Sunny just a boat. According to the poneglyphs, Pluton is a vessel capable of destroying entire islands in a single shot. The blueprints for Pluton were secretly held by the shipwrights of Water 7 for generations. Tom, the legendary shipbuilder who also built the Oro Jackson, Gold Roger's ship, was the one protecting those plans. Iceberg continued that duty after Tom was taken by the government, and when Spandam and CP9 showed up in Eni's lobby, getting those blueprints was one of their primary objectives. Here is where it gets interesting. Frankie burned the blueprints, and at the time, that felt like a victory. But Robin revealed something critical. Pluton itself is still out there. The blueprints were just a backup. The actual ship is still hidden somewhere in the world, sealed away, waiting. And based on current manga events and the information tied to Wano, many fans and theorists believe Pluton is literally beneath Wano country. The nation was built in isolation, surrounded by massive walls and waterfalls. That level of fortress engineering around a landlocked country always seemed excessive. Unless what they were really protecting was not the people inside, but the weapon buried underneath. When Momonosuke opened the borders of Wano at the end of that arc, some believe that was symbolically unlocking the seal over Pluton itself. Now Pluton is terrifying on its own. But here is the thing. One of the other ancient weapons is not a ship, not a sword, not a cannon. It is a person. And she is someone you already know. Stick with me, because this is where it gets wild. Poseidon is the ancient weapon that completely reframes how we think about power in One Piece. In ancient times, someone with the title of Poseidon could communicate with sea kings. These are the massive creatures that live at the bottom of the ocean, capable of pulling ships into the deep and shaking entire seas. They are essentially living natural disasters. The original Poseidon was a mermaid princess who lived during the Void Century. She used her ability to call upon sea kings to command the ocean itself. That is a weapon, not a tool. A weapon capable of changing the tides of war on a global scale. And now, in the current story, that power has reincarnated. Shirahoshi, the mermaid princess of Fishman Island, is Poseidon. Oda confirmed this. Neptune knew it. Whitebeard knew it. That is part of why Whitebeard protected Fishman Island all those years. Not just out of affection, but because Shirahoshi's existence was something the world was not ready to handle. When Luffy and Shirahoshi interact at Fishman Island, and she calls the Sea Kings without even meaning to, that moment is not played for laughs. That is one of the most important scenes in the entire arc. She is unconsciously activating a power that could flatten navies. The deeper theory here connects back to the ancient kingdom. During the Void Century, the original Poseidon may have sided with the ancient kingdom against the 20 kingdoms that formed the world government. If that is true, then Shirahoshi is not just a princess. She is a descendant of someone who already fought this exact war once before. This is where things get speculative, and honestly, that is part of what makes Uranus so exciting to talk about. As of now, Uranus has not been fully revealed. It is the most mysterious of the three ancient weapons. We know it exists, we know it is powerful, and we know Oda has been quietly laying the groundwork for its reveal for years. The name Uranus comes from the Greek god of the sky. Pluton rules the underworld. Poseidon rules the sea. Uranus rules the heavens. That naming pattern is deliberate and thematic. The leading fan theory, and one with serious textual support, is that Uranus is connected to Luffy himself, specifically to the awakened power of the Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, the sun god, a figure of joy and freedom who the world government spent 800 years trying to erase from history. Joy Boy was connected to all three ancient weapons during the Void Century. He made a promise he could not keep to the people of Fishman Island. He was tied to Pluton. And the fruit Luffy now carries, the one the government called the most dangerous devil fruit in existence, may be Uranus itself or the key to activating it. Think about what that means. The world government did not just erase Joy Boy from history because he was a rebel. They erased him because he was walking proof that the ancient weapons could be unified. And a unified set of ancient weapons in the wrong hands, or even the right hands, could bring down everything the world government built. Here is the full picture when you zoom out. Pluton is hidden beneath Wano, a nation that was sealed off from the world for decades. Poseidon is alive right now, a mermaid princess who can command the Sea Kings, and Uranus is either Luffy himself or directly tied to the power he now carries. All three weapons are converging toward the same endpoint, the final war. The one that Robin has been saying is coming since Enies Lobby. The one that Joy Boy failed to finish 800 years ago. Luffy is not just a pirate chasing a dream. He may be the person history has been waiting for to bring these three weapons together and finally finish what Joy Boy started. The world government knows this. That is why they fear the name Nika. That is why they sent Kizaru and Saturn himself to Egghead. Not to capture a scientist, but to stop the clock before it runs out. If this breakdown changed how you see the endgame of One Piece, let us know in the comments. And here is the question I want to leave you with. If Luffy truly is connected to Uranus, does that make him a weapon of destruction or a weapon of liberation? Because in One Piece, that distinction might be the difference between a villain and a legend. Like this video if you want more deep dives like this one. Subscribe to One Piece Uncovered so you never miss a breakdown. And drop your theory in the comments. I read every single one. We will see you in the next one.